My peoples, Errol Spence is coming back. Yes, sir. The show kicks off in 2 minutes and 25 seconds. Stay with me, my people. Today's gonna be lit. See y'all in a few. My peoples, my peoples. Welcome to another episode of Boxing for Breakfast, where you get your healthy dosage of sweet science early in the morning. First of all, man, let me kick this show off by saying good morning to everybody. It's a beautiful day. It don't matter if it's hot, cold, freezing, burning, wherever you at. God gave us another day to be breathing, my peoples, to enjoy the sweet science, to enjoy life. Thank you, God. I say thank you to God every day, man. If you up, if you breathing, it's an amazing day no matter what, my peoples. Let me give a shout out to everybody who's already tuning in. Side is in the building. The Hydro Grind, Al Booger, Sean Johnson, Vic C. Good morning, my peoples. We talking boxing. Y'all know how we doing this. I'm Jay Smith, and we're going to kick this show off with this right here. Errol, the truth, the big fish, Spence, is coming back. And he's going to make his return versus none other than Tszyu. Now, before we even get into all of this Errol versus Tim, we've been talking about Errol Spence. Is he coming back? Is he not coming back? Me, myself, I said I wasn't sure if he was. I was like, I don't know if Errol's going to come back. It's been over 2 years. We haven't heard anything. But it's happening. Finally, we're going to get to see Errol Spence take the stage. Now, an interesting aspect about this fight is that it's going down in June. Or in the summertime. They say summer 2026. Well, summer kicks off in June, but it could be June, July, August, right? Both of them have more than enough time. I said, well, that's a long ways from now. It looks like Tszyu is going to do a tune-up type of fight first before heading into this fight with Errol Spence. But this is something that Sai mentioned earlier. Errol Spence doesn't look like he'll be doing a tune-up. it looks like he's going to be going straight up into fighting Tszyu. Here's the thing, and I'm going to remind you guys, at one point, Tszyu was Jermell Charlo's mandatory, and Jermell didn't take that fight. Didn't take it, ended up not fighting him. So Jermell Charlo want to fight Errol, and Errol says he's just looking for the money, he's looking for the payday, but Errol's fighting somebody who Jermell chose not to fight. See, graph, salute family, bam. So I'm going to tell you this right now. This is going to be a real good fight, my peoples. I promise you. It's going to be a real good fight. Tszyu versus Errol Spence is not a fight that I expected Errol to take in his first outing. You know, very long layoff. So how is this fight going to play out? Well, first of all, I got to tell you guys. I got to say this right now. I am super excited about this fight. I really, think that this is going to be an explosive one because of the styles that Errol and Tszyu bring to the table. My peoples, this is going to be, we're going to see fireworks. John Parham, salute, my brother. I pretty much can guarantee you we're going to see fireworks. The Hydro Grind in the building, salute, family. These two fighters, they're going to be going at it. You know that Errol Spence is not the type of a fighter to back down from his opponent. He's not the type of guy to play the footwork game and you're going to chase me around and I'm going to fight you defensively. Errol Spence is there to fight you. And Tszyu is the same thing. He's there to fight you too. So who's going to be able to back who away? Who's going to be able to push their opponent back? It's tough to tell right here. Are we going to see Tszyu imposing his will on Errol? Or are we going to see the big fish doing what he does? The body snatcher, hurting Tim and backing him away and doing what he does. Because I got to tell you, my peoples, and I've mentioned this before, some fans, they decide what a fighter is based on their losses. And they ignore their accomplishments and their wins. And I'm telling you, we haven't seen Errol Spence in 2.5 years or 2 years and some change. And that could be a good thing for him. Why could it be a good thing for him? Because he took a bad loss to Terrence Crawford, but after 2 years and some change, you know that his body healed properly. You know that his body is good. And I've already seen images of Spence where he's in real good shape. We're talking about potentially 4 or 5 months away from this fight. 6 months away maybe. And Errol Spence is looking real good right now. So I can already see that come fight night, he's going to be in great shape. If they already, announced the fight and Errol Spence is already in good shape right now, that tells me that come fight night, I could pretty much guarantee you're going to see a shredded Errol Spence. You're going to see him ripped. Tszyu, the same deal. Now, I'm kind of surprised that Tszyu is going to do a tune-up because he didn't fight. He fought not that long ago, right? It wasn't that much. It hasn't been that much time since Tszyu was last in the ring and he got a victory. But I guess maybe he want to face a bit of a tougher opponent to get him ready for Errol Spence. I think that could be the case right there. Tszyu, he knows what Errol Spence brings to the table. We know the type of fighter Errol Spence is. And I'm going to be the first one to tell you, my peoples. I'm going to be the first one to tell you. We don't know what Errol Spence is going to be, right? Because of the inactivity. But one loss does not dictate a career. The same people that will tell you right now that Errol Spence is done, they all said Canelo was done when he lost to Floyd Mayweather. He a hype job. And he went to accomplish like crazy after that. There's a lot of fighters who took one loss. The greatest of all time. Muhammad Ali got dropped. Got beat up by George Frazier the first time they fought. Smoking Joe put the beats on Ali. And then after that, what happened? Ali became a world champion again. Beat George Foreman and accomplished like crazy. So what I want you to understand that one loss does not dictate a career, does not dictate the outcome of future fights. It's one loss. Tszyu has 3 losses. 2 of them to the same opponent. So that's something to point out, right? The last time that we saw Errol Spence, it was versus Terrence Crawford. Now, think about what was the perspective on Errol Spence before that fight. Well, before that fight, Errol Spence, a pound-for-pound fighter. Obviously, if you pound for pound, you're one of the best in the world. Huge fan base. And everybody was on Errol, the big fish. People thought he was going to knock Terrence Crawford out. One loss to Terrence Crawford. And look at Vixie. According to Vixie, Errol Spence is slow. He done, he cooked, he washed. That's what happens when you take one loss in boxing. You're going to see fans do that. Look at Teofimo Lopez, the same thing. He lost to Shakur Stevenson. The Vixie type of fans are going to tell you, oh, Teofimo done. Teofimo's a hype job. Teofimo. No, my peoples. You got to wait till you see Errol Spence climb the ring and see how he's going to perform. Why? Because there's fighters who take a loss and they don't recover from it. I would say Adrian Broner is a good example. Personal life affected him. But then there's fighters that take a loss and they continue to accomplish. The Hydra Grind, our resident psychologist, already knows their mental state. Like, bro, we haven't even seen Errol Spence. I don't know how you know his mental state, bro, but you're the resident psychologist over here. But Errol Spence took a bad loss. That was 2 years ago. Over 2 years ago. So at least I can tell you for sure, his body is healed. His body's good. Physically, he's good. Mentally, I can't play psychic like the Hydro Grind and tell you how somebody is mentally because I've seen him on TV. I can't do that. The Hydro Grind can give himself the luxury of playing online psychologists and therapists. But I can't. I got to be honest with you. I don't know what the mental state. Well, if you study psychology, then you should know that you need to be face-to-face, interview, and do all type of shit to do a diagnosis. For you to do a diagnosis based on images that you've seen on social media, that is diabolical, bro. But I digress. We have to see Errol Spence step in the ring to know where he's at. Is he going to be shy with the punch output? Is he going to let the hands fly? Well, we have to see him to know. Because if you think about it, ever since Spence and Crawford fought, we haven't seen him in the ring. We haven't seen him in sparring. We haven't seen him training. So it's all going to be speculation as to how is Errol Spence going to look. Check out Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman had been inactive for about the same time when he fought in Australia. He looked sharp. He looked strong. Finished his opponent in devastating fashion. So it showed you that Keith Thurman had a great training camp. Keith Thurman had a training camp and was able to step in there and perform and look real good. So the inactivity, it didn't really affect him. If anything, it helped him because he was able to heal his body and be ready to go, be ready to do his thing. In the case of Errol Spence, now we know that inactivity allowed him to be physically healed from any damage that he took in his last fight. That's it. Physically, we know he's ready to step back in the ring. Age-wise, 35 years old. 35 years old, if you're in good shape, you can still perform at the highest level. But we also have to look because Errol Spence took a nasty loss, but Tszyu has taken a few bad losses too, right? Remember Tszyu versus Bakram Murtasaliev? Took the beating of a lifetime. Went out there thinking that he was going to win by knockout. And it's crazy how people make predictions about fighters that they don't even know that they never seen. According to a lot of people, Bakram was a bum. This was a cherry pick. Tszyu got himself a cherry pick. And, well, he going to knock him out. He going to knock out this cherry pick. Well, Bakram Murtasaliev gave him the beating of a lifetime. But before Bakram Murtasaliev, you guys remember, he had that fight with Tszyu where he got bloodied up. Look at the damage that he took in the first fight. And that was actually a headbutt. Now, here's the interesting thing. In that first fight, Fundora, and it was accidental. It was an accidental headbutt. Wait a minute. I think it was an elbow. Wasn't it an elbow to the head? I think it may have been an elbow to the head. Accidental. And it went the distance. Now, before all the bleeding, Tszyu was doing really good. It was a good competitive fight, but it was early on that he caught that shot to the dome piece, and all that blood in his face did have an impact. You saw him throughout the fight, wiping, and that affects you. That has an impact. Fundora won that fight, and it was competitive, but then in the rematch, whoa, Sebastian Fundora beat the absolute crap out of Tszyu, my peoples. What a beating. Oh, the humanity. Yeah, it was that elbow. But we know that it was accidental. It's not like Fundora gave him an elbow on purpose. MG, salute, family. But I will say, think about, that's something that I consider that a lot of people don't. Think about who beat Tszyu. Sebastian Fundora and Bakram Murtasaliev. He not out there losing to B-level fighters. He not out there losing to bumps. Who beat Errol Spence? Terrence Crawford, the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world. So when a fighter loses to somebody who's at that level, all the way up there, you have to wonder, golly, my peoples. At that level, they not losing to everybody. They losing to the best fighters out there. So when they face each other, it's still two top-level guys that don't have many losses, because Tszyu got 3 losses, but it's to 2 fighters. And look at the names. Fundora, Murtasaliev. Errol only got 1 loss. He's already being discredited. Errol Spence being discredited. Keith Thurman being discredited. Teofimo Lopez discredited. Because that's what fans do in boxing. They completely throw a fighter under the bus as soon as they take a loss. That's just the reality, right? But I'm trying to tell you, my people, it's going to be some good fights. It's going to be some good fights, my people. They're going to go at it, both of them. Yo, Vic, hold on, Vic. You spamming too much, Vic. Take a 24-hour break. You spamming, you hating too much. Tomorrow we can hear from you again. You need 24 hours real bad this morning. So I'm going to tell you guys right now, my expectations, right? We seen him take some losses. Yeah, Vic need a break, man. He already spamming too much. That's it. He's sounding goofy as hell this morning. 24, 24, 24. You can watch if you want to, Vic. We don't need your goofballery this morning. It's too early. So, my peoples, I want you to notice what these guys can do. Think about it. Tszyu has knockout power. And we've seen him perform at a high level. Beat the crap out of opponents. Don't forget that Tszyu is a dangerous fighter. And then the same with Errol the True Spence. Another dangerous fighter. Both of them got knockout power. The Hydro Grind, I was about to hit him with it. You were faster than me. Yeah, we got to get him out of here, Vic. See, with the spamming. The next time he do that spamming shit, I'm blocking his shit. I'm blocking him. Vic is close to getting blocked. You going to spam with dumb shit? You close to getting blocked, Vic. Real close. You're on a short leash. Tomorrow, you have to just shut up or say something interesting. But, my peoples, Errol Spence and Tszyu, they both have knockout power. They both can hurt each other. Telling you, they both can absolutely hurt each other. So me personally, I'm excited about this fight. I believe that I can't make a prediction just yet. Tszyu's going to do a tune-up. Now, that could be a factor. That could be a factor, my peoples. When you're talking about Tszyu's going to have a tune-up, he's going to have another fight. He had one recently. He's going to have another one. And Errol Spence is coming off of all that inactivity. Is that going to play against Errol Spence? Is this going to be something that will be against Errol Spence? Because if he does show ring rust and Tszyu's coming in hot, that could be a factor. Side, Errol is prolific body puncher. Has anyone tested Tim's body? Midsection looks suspect. I think Errol Spence is probably going to be the best body puncher Tszyu ever faced. So he's definitely going to be tested to the body. I got to say, my people, look, it's hard to predict an outcome in a fight like this because we don't know what version of Errol Spence we're going to get. But I have to tell you, Tszyu is no Terrence Crawford. Tszyu doesn't have the technical abilities of Terrence Crawford. He gets hit a lot. He's not a defensive guru. So when you have a Tszyu who's not a defensive guru, but likes to let the hands fly, and you have an Errol Spence who likes to apply pressure, it's fireworks in the making. Fireworks in the making. This thing might turn into a slugfest from the very first round because neither one of those two fighters like to back down. They don't like to back down. Who you guys think is going to own the real estate? Who's going to be coming forward and who's going to have to back down? Or are they just going to stand in the middle of the ring, trade nasty leather? The Hydro Grind, it will be very entertaining, no doubt about it. Side, Errol's prolific body puncher. Has anyone tested him to the body? Errol going to prove everybody ain't Bud Crawford. But that's what I'm trying to tell you, bro. Everybody's not Terrence Crawford. It's not like he's going to go out there and get beat up by everybody he faced. See, Graf, I think that fight is going to be very exciting. Side, but is that Spence fight wasn't losing to any welterweight. John Parham, why Vic got let out of nowhere? Vic had to go, man. He been on some dumb shit. The thing about Vic is that he's the type of people that he's just going to go in there and just start saying negative shit from the beginning. The moment I put the image, he was already, this guy's washed, and this guy's washed, and this guy's no good, and this guy's no good. Man, get the fuck out of here. You this close. Vic is this close to getting blocked. Tomorrow, the first negative shit he say about a fighter, he's going to get blocked. No more breaks for him. He on some dumb shit. I don't need that. You're going to have to go to another YouTube channel to take that dumb shit. See, Grab. That kidney shot and them liver shots, they ain't no joke. I don't know if he bipolar. I don't know if he didn't take his medication today. But he's going to have to go take his medication on another YouTube channel. We not having it over here. I got to say, man, look. Errol Spence body shots. Obviously, we didn't forget the body snatcher. We didn't forget what he do to the body. So that's something that we're going to see from Errol Spence because we've always seen that. Is Timmy going to be able to handle it? But like I told you, you know, Errol Spence, one thing that I have to say, has a better defense than Tszyu. Tszyu gets hit more. That could be a factor. Are we going to get, here's the point, are we going to get an Errol Spence who's going to be shy with the punch output because of what happened in his last fight? That happens. Fighter don't want to let his hands go because he don't want to get caught with some of those same shots that he got hit before. Or are we just going to get the usual Errol Spence digging hard to the body, keeping that stiff jab out there, combination punching, bam, bam, bam? Because if Errol Spence is going to be his usual self, he's walking out of this fight with the W. If he's going to be his usual self, operate the way he normally does, walking out of there with the dub. Because Tszyu, he gets hit a lot. And Errol Spence will hit you a lot if you're there to be hit. MG Chaotic. Spence looked like he's been in good shape for a while. Just been seeing him on IG. It all depends on his mental. He's in good shape, bro. And if we're talking about this fight goes down in the summertime, he has 4-5 months to prepare for this. And he's already in good shape. So, I promise you, this is going to be a very, very exciting fight to watch. Two fighters who like to bang it out. Neither one of them likes to back down. Neither one of them ever relies on their footwork. You never seen a fight from Errol Spence where he's mostly using the footwork and trying to keep the distance. You never seen that from Tszyu either. And I don't anticipate that they're going to come in with that style, like trying to survive. That's not, you know, these are the type of fighters that they're going to go for. They're going to let the hands fly. They both like to trade leather. They both let the hands fly. We're going to get fireworks. There's no getting around it, my peoples. We're going to get an explosive type of fight. It's going to be super exciting. I hope I don't lose my voice. Like, this is the type of fight that I'll be losing my voice with. Because they just bam, 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 bam. Going back and forth, the ebb and flow. Both of them winning rounds. It could be a super competitive fight. I think it will be a competitive fight. Nobody's getting washed. Nobody's getting washed, my peoples. Remember, I told you that. Let's move on to the next one, my peoples. Whoa. Whoa. Shakur Stevenson has now been ranked at the number 3 spot, pound for pound, by Ring Magazine. All the hate Shakur Stevenson get. One of the most hated fighters in boxing. The guy who haters like Vic C will say, he ain't fight nobody. He didn't beat nobody. Ranked number 3, pound for pound. Now, how do you get to that spot on the pound for pound list? You get there by getting top level wins, by beating high level opponents. That's how you get there. And there you have it. Shakur Stevenson is showing people he's that dude. Now, it's going to be tough for him to get past Inoue and past Usyk, because those are two fighters who have certain accomplishments that you have to really, really get some nasty work done to get past them. But I want to point something out to you guys that you need to keep in mind. Yeah, Bam is ranked number 4. I need you to keep this in mind. boxing is not a what have you done. It is not the pound for pound list itself. It's not a lifetime achievement award. I want you to remember that. The pound for pound list is not what you've done in your whole career. That list is a what have you done for me lately list. So right now, in 2026, out of those top three, Shakur Stevenson has the biggest win. Of course, he can't get ahead of Inoue and Usyk. But all I'm telling you is that these fights going forward can't move him up and he beats bigger names or higher ranked opponents or more important opponents than Inoue and Usyk. So I don't want you guys to think that Shakur Stevenson overtaking these two fighters is out of the question because, oh, they've been undisputed. That's not the way that it works. You know why Shakur moved up? He was in spot number 6. You know why he moved up to spot number 3? Because if you look at the last opponents that Bam, Bivol, beat, they not better than Teofimo Lopez. They not more accomplished than Teofimo Lopez. And of course, Arthur Beterbiev lost. That's why Shakur Stevenson is at that spot. So both Usyk and Inoue, they have to start getting some big wins because Shakur can overtake them. It can happen. Don't get it twisted. See, Graf, do you see a knockout in that fight? Look, Tszyu versus Errol Spence could end up in a knockout. It could. Hard for me to make a prediction right now. I'll wait at least till Tszyu has that tuna fight because he got to get past the tuna for them to actually fight. John Parham, I don't think he gets number 1, maybe 2 if he beat Devin. Listen, if he beat Devin Haney, he might get to that number 1 spot. A win over Devin Haney, like if he beat Shakur Stevenson and if he beat Teofimo Lopez and Devin Haney same year, bro, I think he gets to number 1. Because what wins is Usyk gonna get or Inoue to be better than those 2 wins? Of course, it depends what happens with them as well. Because let me give you an example. If Inoue beats Bam and move up and beat Tszyu, now Inoue is going into that number 1 spot. Inoue can get the number 1 spot by getting those 2 wins. So it's gonna be tough. These top 3 right here, they're gonna be duking it out to see who can make it to the number 1 spot. But Mr. KO, salute family, bam. MG KO, nah, he's number 1 if he beats Devin. Yeah, if he beats Devin Haney, man, Shakur Stevenson is gunning for that number 1 spot. But we already know that Devin Haney is talking about first facing Keyshawn Davis and then Shakur Stevenson. But here's the deal. If Devin Haney is able to beat Keyshawn Davis and beat Shakur, he's going to be in this pound for pound list. And he's not going to be, number 10, number 9. He's going to get a real low spot. So if Inoue does that, that's some elite-ish. Listen, Naoya Inoue is a potential great fight with Bam Rodriguez. So now you would be talking about Inoue, who's at the number 2 spot. Look at it right there. Inoue at the number 2 spot, facing the number 4 pound for pound fighter in the world. So that would be big. If you're already in the pound for pound list and you fight somebody who's also on the pound for pound list, that holds a lot of weight. A lot. Side, Bam got to move up gradually. MG chaotic. No one at heavyweight is going to keep Usyk on top. Not even Itama. I mean, Itama will be a great win, but he's not accomplished. That's the thing. He's a great win because we already see this young lion is really good, is really strong, can fight, has that ring IQ, but he's not accomplished. So a big, win over Itama for Usyk is not even close to Shakur Stevenson beating a Devin Haney. Because we know the accomplishments. Now you're beating a guy who been undisputed, multi-division champion, unified champion. Like, this is big. It's a lot bigger than beating Itama. MG Chaotic. Side. Jay Smith. Do you see Bill talking about Devin moving up to 154 for Sayas? I seen that, but I don't know if they want to do that just yet because, again, there's a lot for Devin to do in the welterweight division. Unless, he wants to keep getting further and further away from Shakur Stevenson. At 135, we left to 140. Before you went to 140, we went to 147. By the time Shakur move up, now we going to 154. So that'll be a way that, we want to see Shakur Stevenson versus Devin Haney. We're never going to get that fight if he keeps moving up before Shakur even gets to the division where he's at. So me personally, I want to see them fight each other. But here's the fight that got Shakur Stevenson to that number 3 spot in the pound for pound list. A win over Teofimo Lopez. Not just a win, pure domination. You guys know I'm not exaggerating. Completely dominated Teofimo, made him look bad. So what can we expect for Shakur Stevenson's next fight? Right now, we don't know. He already said it. Listen, I'm going to look for the biggest fight up here. And obviously, he showed he's willing to fight Conor Ben. But if not, he's going to go back down to 135. I would assume he's going to challenge this guy that beat Andy Cruz. Murataya. He's going to challenge Murataya. And I saw in an interview, I want to point this out. I saw in an interview where Murataya said that he can beat Shakur and that's a great fight for him and all of that. Cool. I know Murataya has to be real confident in himself. But I'm going to remind you guys that Shakur was trying to get that fight last year. He was trying to get Murataya. And they didn't want to fight him. They didn't want to fight him. So are they feeling confident? Do they feel like they could beat Shakur Stevenson? And will they give him that fight? Let's see. We don't know what Shakur Stevenson is going to do next. Just yet. We don't know what Devin Haney is going to do next. Side. John Ryan versus Keyshawn. John Ryan, do you mean Ryan Garcia? Oh, Ryan versus Keyshawn. That's a good fight. That's a real good fight. But Ryan Garcia has Mario Barrios ahead of him. That's a tough fight. Ryan Garcia has a legit world champion in front of him. Is Ryan Garcia going to become a world champion for the first time? He still hasn't accomplished that feat. I remember when he was an interim champion, but he hasn't been able to win one of those major titles yet. Peter, you really think they'll fight Shakur and Devin? Honestly, I believe that this fight, sometimes I have mixed emotions about it. I think it's the inevitable. I think it is the inevitable. And you saw Devin Haney calling Shakur's name on social media and all that stuff. But at the same time, I don't feel sure. I don't feel sure about it because Devin Haney's at 147, right? Shakur's at 140. Devin Haney may already be floating around the idea of going to 154 to face Xander Sayers. So it's like, I don't know. I know that Shakur want to make that fight. He's been for years wanting to fight Devin Haney. But I don't know if Devin want to make that fight. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I've seen him. And I'll give you an example why I don't know. First is what happened in the 135 division. We already knew at 135, when Shakur finally became Devin's mandatory, Devin vacated the title and left the division. Went to 140, right? So now they're a separate division. Then Devin Haney moved to 147 before Shakur even got to 140. So they're still in different divisions. And now Devin is floating around the idea of going to 154. So Devin has been able to keep a distance from Shakur where they're not going to fight. They're not in the same division. And it's Devin Haney who keeps moving away further. And then, even when Devin said Shakur's name, he's like, yeah, but I want to fight Keyshawn first. So it's like there's a condition behind it. Just like at 135, it was that 25% take it or leave it offer, which I never felt was a real offer. To me, that was just a move that they did to not appear like they was ducking. That's my personal opinion. But now, when you can fight Shakur, it's like, yeah, but I want to fight little bro first. I want to fight Keyshawn first. Right now, think about it. Devin fought recently. Shakur fought recently. So they're in a good timeline where they could fight each other. Devin Haney could literally, because look, Shakur is willing to fight Conor Benn at 147. You think he won't be willing to fight Devin Haney at that same weight class? Of course he will. But Devin Haney is already putting a condition that I want to fight Shakur, but I want to fight Keyshawn first. Why you want to fight Keyshawn first? Why not go straight for Shakur? Why not call out Shakur? Why not say, yo, Shakur, I'm going to give you a title shot. Well, you want to do this? Let's get it. That would tell me he want to fight Shakur. But he's not doing that. He's saying, I want to fight somebody else and then fight Shakur. So, honestly, my brother, I'm not convinced that Devin Haney want to fight Shakur Stevenson. I'm really not. John Parham, people think we will never get Keys and Shakur. I disagree. With Keys' ego, he will get tired of being under Shakur's umbrella, in my opinion, unless Key go up to 147. Well, you got to remember, John, Keyshawn already said he was going to 147. He already said that. But me personally, and I'm going by what they're saying, I believe we'll never get that fight. I believe we'll never get it. That's my perception. If they're telling me we're never going to fight each other, that's enough for me to believe it. I don't expect them to ever fight. Peter P. Devin trying to move up and fight opposition he know he can beat up just to get the accolades. I mean, remember when Shakur was mandatory at 135, he moved up and fought Rougarou, Regis Prograis, for his title. Oh, well. Mr. KO, he wants Keyshawn, but the Shakur fight makes more sense. I mean, you have to understand, Devin Haney versus Shakur Stevenson is a fight that we've been asking for years at this point. It's been years since Devin Haney vacated those belts at 135 just to duck Shakur Stevenson. Years. So it's not like this fight is coming out of nowhere. We're asking for it and we want it. We've been wanted that fight. Fans have been debating and going back and forth about who's going to win when they fight. There's a lot of people who feel like Devin is going to win. There's a lot of people who feel like Shakur is going to win. Mr. KO, I think Keyshawn cracks him. I mean, Devin Haney wants to fight Keyshawn Davis. The Assassin Jay Smith, what's popping? Salute, family, bam. Wes Dusty, I agree, John P. Crash Out Davis will eventually burn that bridge. Damn, Wes Dusty, you don't like Keyshawn Davis because you had him getting beat by Jermaine Ortiz and you saw what he did to Jermaine, beat the crap out of him. Side, it's either Devin by decision or Keyshawn by stoppage, how I see it. Wes Dusty, good morning. Jay Smith, Box Center family, bam, salute, bro. Like, activate, I appreciate you, man. You tune in and the first thing you do, bam, hit that like button. My peoples, y'all know 2026, there ain't no ghost watching. We actually hitting that like button. Side Ortiz got work, man. Listen, Jermaine Ortiz got made to look easy. I remember the Hydro Grind was saying he was going to beat up Keyshawn. Because you see the Hydro Grind? You study psychology, your psychology game sucks, bro. They robbed your money. Because you was talking about, Keisha's mental, his mental's not right, so he's going to lose because of his mental. Got the shit beat out of him. Jermaine just got beat up and stopped. When according to you, the mental wasn't good. You're not a good evaluator of mental, bro. Don't bring that shit up no more. John Parham, Wes, it's only a matter of time before Keys call out Shakur. Wes does it. Man, Ortiz hurt my feelings. I try to tell you, but you wouldn't listen, bro. The assassin, Jermaine Ortiz, was perfect matchmaking from Jay Prince and them handicap. So I want to say this, and I said it before. Jermaine Ortiz is a good fighter. He's a good fighter. Can't take it away from him. He's not a great fighter. Good, not great. He's the type of fighter who can make it interesting versus the best fighters. But he's not going to beat them. He's not going to beat them, my peoples. And I already got that vibe from him when he fought Lomachenko and Teofimo Lopez. This guy can be competitive. He can make it interesting. Not beating those guys. It's Candace. Keyshawn calculated pressure versus Devin jab, long arms. Devin will probably jab and smother trying to clinch. Also, good morning, family. Bam! It's Candace in the building. Look, Keyshawn Davis versus Devin Haney is a very good fight. It's a very competitive fight. Obviously, Devin Haney has a lot more experience. Devin Haney's been there with way tougher opponents, bigger wins, and he's going to be the favorite to win that fight. The assassin, now Dev versus Keyshawn, that's fair 50-50. Dev will want to see that. I don't know if we're going to see that fight. You know what? I mean, we could see that fight, but not next. You know why we don't get that fight next? Because Keyshawn Davis already said they got to pay me right. They got to put respect on my name. So he wants the type of money that they might not be willing to pay him. So he's going to try to pursue a title from one of the other title holders and now demand that type of payday. The Hydro Grind, I only did 1 year of psychology. Leave me alone. John Parham, West, exactly my outlook, bro. Peter P. In the event Ryan and Devin happen again, you think it'll be the same outcome? I don't know, man. Because now Ryan Garcia would be facing Debo Dev. He's not going to be facing the same Devin Haney that he fought earlier. This is a whole other Devin Haney, my G. Whole other Devin Haney. Giovanni Williams, people talk as if clinching is not part of boxing. Absolutely. Clinching is an art form. I've seen fighters, you've seen fighters get absolutely pummeled because they don't know how to clinch. Don't know how to clinch. If you don't know how to clinch, if you don't practice clinching in training, you're going to get pummeled because when you get hurt, all you're going to do is this, boom, 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 boom. You're going to be right in front of your opponent getting beat up. But those fighters who know how to clinch, they can buy some time. They can recover by clinching. So clinching is absolutely an art form, and it is important. It is important because you never know when you're going to get rocked. And if you don't know how to clinch, that could be the difference between you getting passed around or you getting knocked out. Of course, there's fighters who's going to overdo it. If you overdo it, it could come with point deductions and it could come with fans booing you and it could turn into a clinch fest and a boring fight. Side, Josh Kelly made full use of that clinch. Oh, man, Josh Kelly, he was either backing away, lateral movement, and clinching. And very little bit of punching. Wes Dustin, Bernard Hopkins mastered the clinch. But listen, Bernard Hopkins, I got all the respect and all the love for him and his skills. how technical he was. And sometimes he used to do little things here and there in the clinch that you're not supposed to. But if the ref don't see it, then it's not illegal. I seen Bernard Hopkins, go like that with the side of the laces while they clinch it. One, rub your whole nose, your mouth, your eyeballs, like that. But the ref is over here like, hold that. Bernard Hopkins will mess you up in that clinch. But he was the master when it comes to that. It's cannons. Know when to hold, know when to fold, and when to hold. John Parham, one of my favorite fighters, Bernard Hopkins, man. Bernard Hopkins was a special fighter, somebody who was gifted athletically. And look at this. Look how interesting. A lot of people don't know this, and a lot of people who knew it may have forgot it. Bernard Hopkins lost his pro debut. He lost his first fight. My people, we've been at it for over an hour. Not even 30 likes. Come on, man. Double tap that screen. Stop playing with me. The Assassin. Yo, Jay Smith. Where were all the dirty tactics Tszyu promised us for the Shakur fight? I was picturing him tossing Core around the ring. Being Tszyu was the bigger man. The thing is that Teofimo Lopez expected to be able to apply pressure and turn it into his fight, make Shakur uncomfortable. He didn't realize that Shakur was going in there to fight. He was going in there to fight. Hold on, my people. We got a dummy in the building. Let me get this dummy out of here. We don't got time for dummies. Wes Dustin, B-Hop. HD unmatched ring awareness. I remember feeling like he was a cheat. I wanted Roy to destroy him. Bro, a lot of people said that. A lot of people used to say that about Hopkins. He a cheater, he a cheater, he a cheater. But you ain't a cheater if you winning. And, it's little tactics. People used to say that he was a dirty fighter. And some of the headbutts, Bernard Hopkins might and give you an accidental headbutt that didn't really look very accidental. But again, if you get away with it, you gotta do what you gotta do to win those fights. You gotta do what you gotta do. Peter P, Shakur was definitely bigger. But that wasn't the expectation. Shakur's the guy moving up in weight. Teofimo's the guy who's already been fighting at 140. And I would say this. The same thing that happened to Brian Norman Jr. happened to Teofimo Lopez. And I'm going to say why. Brian Norman Jr. said that he already knew how Devin was going to fight. They was going to cut the ring. They was going to catch him. And they was going to knock him out. Devin did not fight like what they expected. They fell to that narrative that Devin was damaged goods because of what happened versus Ryan Garcia. Ryan, the beating that he took to Ryan changed him. And he's a scared fighter now. And you saw the last fight where he fought Ramirez in Times Square where he did a lot of footwork, didn't engage a lot, that he's a scared fighter. So Brian Norman Jr. went in there planning on chasing him around and knocking him out. When it turned out that Devin Haney was going to stand there and bang with him, Brian Norman Jr. was like a deer in the headlight. It's like he wasn't expecting that at all. And they didn't have a plan B for him. Got beat up. So enter Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson. Teofimo was even posting memes about Shakur running around the ring while Tszyu was like, come on, come on. So what was the expectation? That they was going to chase Shakur around for 12 rounds. So they thinking the fight is going to take place inside of a football field. And they got a Shakur Stevenson that said, nah, step in this phone booth with me. We doing this right here. He wasn't ready for that. Raul Pacheco, he looked great at the weight class. And if you look at Devin Haney at welterweight, Devin Debo Haney, he looked unstoppable at 147. But then you see Shakur Stevenson at 140, how he made easy work out of Teofimo Lopez, one of the most accomplished young fighters of this generation, and tell you what level he on. West does it. They believe the hype. They forgot power is generated and delivered. Teo couldn't get set up to get off clean. And if you think about it, man, throughout that fight, Teofimo never landed, not even one combination of good punches where he's solid, where he's sitting on the punch, bam, bam, bam. You're like, yeah, he caught him. That never happened in the whole fight. He never really sat down and landed good shots on Shakur. John Parham, Shakur had studied Teo and broke him down. And he broke him down physically and mentally. I don't know if you guys caught it. There was a moment in that fight where Teofimo actually tried to bite Shakur. He actually tried to bite him. Because of the mouth guard, the sweat and everything, the movement, he couldn't do it, but he tried. He was frustrated in there. John Parham, Dev good, but Devo is a stretch. He deboed him. Brian Norman Jr. got deboed, bro. Shakur hands. In everything, I always say, Rev is Dev, nothing more, nothing less. I know, I couldn't read none of that Shakur hand. God damn. Clifton Dennis. I didn't see that. Whoa. He tried. You can look it up. There's a replay. If you may be able to Google it and find it. Because I seen the replay in slow motion where you see Teofimo going like that. And you see him like try to bite into it, but like because of the sweat, the mouth guard, it kind of slipped off. But he tried it. He tried to bite Shakur, bro. Real talk. I'm not going to make that shit up. Y'all know how I get down. It was a great fight. Shakur Stevenson dominated Teofimo Lopez. We're going to see where this goes. We're going to see where this goes. My people, let's move on to the next one. Canelo Alvarez has been talking about he wants the rematch with Terrence Buck Crawford. We spoke about this yesterday. This is what I don't understand. How does Canelo say, I give him credit for the win, but I don't give him full credit if he don't give me the rematch? For me to give him full credit, he got to give me the rematch. Come on, my people. Mr. KO is confirmed. Till in fact tried to bite Shakur, bro. You know I don't lie. I don't make shit up out of thin air. If I say it, I confirmed it when I said it. But you verified it. And I appreciate you for verifying it, my brother. Now, Canelo Alvarez saying that he don't give full credit to Terrence Crawford. That shit is goofy as hell. Goofy as hell from Canelo Alvarez. And I'm going to tell you what makes it goofy. Bro, you didn't get robbed. It wasn't a split decision win. It wasn't a fight where... Actually, was it a split decision win? Did they give it a split decision? If I'm not mistaken, Canelo got the win in a scorecard. Oh, man, that was nasty. That was nasty. I was thinking about it. That was nasty. Damn, he won a payday. Payday. So, we watched this fight, and it was a convincing win from Terrence Crawford. Canelo didn't get robbed. It wasn't a robbery. So, if you tell me that it's a fight where people are saying Canelo got robbed, Canelo should have won this fight, Terrence Crawford got gifted the W, then I would have said, you know what? He got to give him the rematch. He got gifted the W, give him the rematch. You're not going to get full credit because a lot of people felt like you lost that fight. There isn't one person in planet Earth that feels like Canelo won that fight. We know what happened. We know how it played out. Canelo got schooled. Got hands put on him. So for him to say, I don't give him full credit because he got to give me the rematch. That's goofy as hell. You got to give him full credit. They beat you. Beat you. You go give Dimitri Bivol. Go get the rematch from Dimitri Bivol. Why you don't rematch Dimitri Bivol? And you know what? In a way, this is Canelo's karma for ducking Benavidez. Like, you duck Benavidez, never gave him the shot, even when he was your mandatory for God knows how long. I think Benavidez was Canelo mandatory for over a year, bro. Over a year. David Benavidez was starving himself at 168, waiting to get that opportunity, and they never gave it to him. Never gave it to him. So you duck Benavidez. You fought the smaller guy that you thought you was going to win. You got your ass beat. Now you can't get a rematch. Now, do you guys think that Terrence Crawford is coming back? I could tell you. I seen a Terrence Crawford who's comfortable with retirement, who's very convincing about retirement. I don't think he's coming back. That's it. Went out as the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world, as the fighter of the year, as the only 3-division undisputed champion. That's it. Beat Canelo Alvarez, the face of boxing. He don't got to come back. He don't got to come back. The assassin. John, why? Because he would have lost sooner. Wes Dustin, I don't blame Canelo for ducking Benavidez. I blame the sanctioning bodies for letting him keep the belts. I mean, it's the WBC, not the sanctioning bodies, because Benavidez was the mandatory for the WBC strap. But we know Mauricio the Dummy Sulaiman is going to protect Canelo at all costs. That's his Mexican champion that he want to keep there at all costs. Look, Canelo's already in line to fight for that belt in September. I think he's going to fight Aunt Billy. I'm not sure if that's the way it's going to play out. But I blame Canelo, my brother. Look, I've given him a pass. Right? I've given him a pass. Because I said, you know what? Benavidez is so big, he don't want to fight him because he knows how that fight plays out. He knows. But that's your mandatory for over a year. And you duck. Everybody knows that you duck that fight. And we know why. Benavidez would have beat him up. And I said this before. If Canelo Alvarez would have fought David Benavidez, he would have got stopped for the first time. He would have got stopped. That's why he chose not to. Side, over one pressure and volume, Benavidez going to put all type of hands on him. Beat him up. Beat him up, my people. That's what Benavidez would have did to Canelo. Shakur hands. Even Spence said Bud has nothing else to prove. Of course, that's it. Terrence Crawford went out on top. That's why I don't see him coming back. I see him staying retired, already, you know, the most accomplished fighter of this generation, the best fighter of this generation, was at the #1 spot, pound for pound in the world, fighter of the year. What more do you need? You're the guy. That's it. You went all the way to the top, and that said, F you, everybody. I'm out. John Pound, Benavidez would have went for the kill for sure. Of course, Benavidez would have not just tried to beat him. He would have tried to just brutalize him. And part of the reason why I think that Canelo may not have won a fight Benavidez, because think about it. He fought Dimitri Bivol, lost, cool story, moving on. Accomplished more after that. Lost to Terrence Crawford, but retired. Canelo, he know that Mauricio the Dummy Sulaiman is going to put him in position to fight for another belt. He's going to get that WBC once again. So it's like he loses to guys and moves on. But if you get brutalized by David Benavidez, the Mexican monster, who already took your Cinco de Mayo date, that's not your date no more. You're done with Cinco de Mayo. That's David Benavidez's date. You get pummeled by David Benavidez, Now you're going to be passing the torch. Here. This your shit now. You're the best Mexican guy. For the people, I know there's people that love to say Benavidez is not Mexican. He's half Mexican. And he's the Mexican monster. So if he beat the crap out of Canelo, it's like Canelo's going to have to pass the torch. And that he don't want to do that. If he get knocked out by Benavidez, it's like, okay, that's it. My run is done. I got knocked out. And it's this Mexican guy who beat the crap out of me, who's a lot bigger, who I don't even want a rematch for a second beating. You passing the torch. He don't want to do that. He wants to be the best Mexican fighter. And Benavidez will change that with one fight. The assassin and Billy is not ready for that stage. Man, Canelo needs to stop cherry picking. Now, look, I'm going to say this, the assassin and Billy can fight. I think that Canelo is more experienced, more technically savvy, but Billy can fight. And I think that he has the speed and the power to hurt Canelo. And you hurt him, and things could change. Because, look, one thing I want to point out, I want you guys to consider this, right? Canelo never been stopped in his career. So when a fighter never been stopped, we kind of get comfortable with, now nobody could stop him. Nobody can stop this guy. We get comfortable with that. But just because you've never been stopped, it doesn't mean you can't be stopped. Remember that. Canelo Alvarez, facing a hard puncher, can be hurt and he can be stopped. So I think, you know, when it comes to him and then Billy, he has obviously the edge in experience, the edge in technical abilities, obviously the more accomplished fighter. But I would say Billy's not a bum. And Billy has a shot. Canelo's going to be the favorite. We know he'll be the favorite. But I think Billy has a shot. Clifton Dennis. Is prime Canelo better than David Benavidez? It's hard to answer that question, to be honest. It's hard for me to say. Because Canelo, you know, been a great fighter and been performing at a high level. So has David Benavidez. But one thing Benavidez has over Canelo is the volume punching. He's always been a volume puncher. He's always been a guy, bam, 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 who would throw 5, 6, 7, 8 punches right there in the blink of an eye. Canelo never really had that. And Canelo's always been that fighter who he needs his opponent to cooperate. He needs the opponent to come to him and let's stand right here and bang. But that's the problem. David Benavidez is a lot bigger than him. So as far as the technical assets, Canelo, we could say that Canelo is more technical than David Benavidez in his prime. But still, the physical assets of David Benavidez combined with the power and volume punching, I think that overwhelms Canelo. Benavidez is much bigger. Clifton Dennis. That's crazy. You think David could get more attention than Canelo on that day? Do you? My G, David Benavidez is going to be fighting on Cinco de Mayo and Canelo is going to be fighting in September. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. Canelo losing in convincing fashion while David Benavidez pummel his opponent. That's it. The tide is shifting. Canelo's the more popular fighter. I'm not saying otherwise. But the tide is shifting. Everybody knows Canelo ducked David Benavidez. And everybody knows that Canelo is already on the tail end of his career. That's it. He's almost out. Imagine if Canelo take another loss. Imagine if he lose to Billy. He's cooked. Completely cooked. While David Benavidez is still skyrocketing. So that's it. Canelo, that's not his day anymore. Cinco de Mayo is going to be David Benavidez's day. Ricardo May. Bam, bam. What's good, Jay Smith? Bam. Salute, family. Raul Pacheco, Benavidez is the GOAT. Canelo don't have nothing on Benavidez. I mean, he don't want to fight him. We know that Canelo Alvarez has been ducking David Benavidez for years. If I'm not mistaken, David Benavidez was his mandatory at 168 for like over a year. Look, the only reason the Mexican monster stayed in that division is because he wanted to get that fight with Canelo. He wanted to get that opportunity. Once he realized they never going to fight me, he was like, okay, I'm out of here. I'm not going to be starving myself to make weight in this division when Canelo's never going to fight me. Benavidez understood that already. Shakur has Canelo a goofball now saying this nonsense about Bud. And look, he don't want to give Crawford full credit because, he didn't give me the rematch, so I'm not giving him full credit. Bro, he beat the shit out of you. You got to give him full credit for that ass whooping he gave you. The Hydro Grind, and Billy is a dangerous opponent. I agree with you. And I said it before. I don't see Billy as a cherry pick because he got speed, he got power, he can box, and he likes it. In a way, he's the type of fighter Canelo likes. And Billy's not going to be using footwork, and Billy's not going to be moving around too much. He's going to stand right in front of you, and he's going to try to outgun you. He's going to try to out-tough you. Canelo likes those type of fighters because they allow him to operate. Canelo needs you to cooperate with him by going to him and also by standing there and banging it out. He does not like fighters who are going to use that footwork, who are going to give him angles. Those are the type of fighters who have given him problems. Look at his losses. Floyd Mayweather, some of the best footwork we've ever seen in the history of boxing. Eddie Lara, he won that fight, but gave him a lot of problems. School, the Cuban guy, gave him problems. That was a fight where Canelo couldn't cut the ring to save his life. He won, but it gave him problems. Dimitri Bivol, we already know that this guy can box, got great footwork, great movement, used it on Canelo. And then Terence Crawford. So the guys who have great mobility are the guys that either beat him or gave him problems. And Billy is not that. And Billy's going to stand there and bang it out with you. Canelo likes that type of opponent, and Billy has what it takes to catch him with something and hurt him. Don't get it twisted. The Assassin, bro, since Canelo lost, so many haters just disappeared. I love this fresh start. It's a fresh start, man. A lot of people been quiet since. Side, moved up 2 divisions to whoop that ass too. Look, Terence Crawford got the biggest win of this entire era when he beat Canelo Alvarez. You can't think of a bigger win, and I'm talking about on a historical level. There is no bigger win. There is nothing in this era that we can compare to that win. Terence Crawford jumping up 2 divisions, beating the face of boxing, beating an undisputed champion. There's no win like that. That's why when he got put in that #1 spot, the only way he leaves it was by retiring. Because nobody else was going to get a win that could overmatch that one, that can overtake that one. And Billy is there to get countered. Ricardo May, Canelo is richer than De La Hoya. Canelo should just retire and be the next great promoter. He has the financial means. So Canelo is going to start his own promotional company. Canelo Promotions. Yes, sir. In fact, Virgil Ortiz is suing Golden Boy to go to Canelo Promotions. So I guess his first show is going to be soon. Remember what I told y'all, man. If Virgil Ortiz doesn't successfully sue and is not able to leave Golden Boy, he's cooked. Because now Oscar De La Hoya is going to tell him, you're going to fight Boots or you're going to sit your ass on the shelf. Hold that. We might not see Virgil Ortiz this whole year fighting again if he play game with Oscar De La Hoya. What happens when you sue your promoter? Remember when Mikey Garcia sued Bob Arum and Top Rank? He was inactive for like 2-3 years or something like that, trying to get out that contract. So Virgil Ortiz is in a delicate situation right now because Canelo won him. Oscar wanted him to fight Boots, but he don't want to fight Boots. Now he's trying to get out his contract. If you don't win that lawsuit, your ass is cooked. Clifton Dennis, why we don't hold that against Canelo to duck one guy for that long? Shouldn't we take away from your legacy a little bit? I feel like he doesn't get enough pushback for doing this. No. Listen, Canelo got a lot of pushback for ducking Benavidez. A lot. I remember there was a point where we was posting non-stop about that duck. What happened is that eventually, when Benavidez goes to a different weight class, and now they're no longer, in the same division, we can't really push Canelo. We can't force him to move up. Benavidez is not going to move down. So that, it kind of died down. That pressure kind of started to disappear once they was in different divisions. But that's something that we'll always remember about Canelo Alvarez. If he retires without ever facing David Benavidez, we're always going to hold that against him. That'll always come up. So in a way, it does touch his legacy. It does touch his legacy. Because when we talk about, and that's something we also have to acknowledge, Canelo fought everybody. Canelo did fight everybody. But that one guy, that's the one guy we can say, you duck. And there's no argument against it. There's nobody that can say, no, Canelo did not duck Benavidez. How can you say that? Benavidez was his mandatory. And let me tell you guys something funny about the Benavidez fight, which never happened. Again, you can look it up and see that I'm not capping. You can hear it from Benavidez's mouth. The letter M, salute family, bam. I want you guys to consider this. Benavidez at one point said that they offered him the Canelo fight. And they told him he had to take, I don't remember off the top of my head if it was like $5 million flat with no pay-per-view, no nothing else. Just that. And he said, yo, when they offered me that, I was like, yeah, I'll take it. Let's do it. And when he said that, he never heard from them again. Never heard from them again. Now, I'm going to tell you what they was trying to do. If Benavidez would have said, nah, I'm not taking that. Then Canelo's team would have responded. We tried to make the fight with Benavidez, but he ducked. We tried to make it. He ducked. But they couldn't do it because Benavidez was like, let's do it. Don't give me no pay-per-view. Don't give me no back-end money. I'll take a low ball offer. Let's fight. And he said, I never heard from them after that. That's it. So they threw a little bluff out there, and Benavidez called that bluff. The letter M. Y'all want Canelo to die. I mean, if he dies, he dies. That's what Benavidez would have said on some Rocky shit. But ultimately, that fight should have happened. Canelo Alvarez is the face of boxing. At one point, he was the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world. You got your mandatory right there. That fight should have happened. And I gave him a pass for ducking. Because I said Benavidez is going to be the first guy to knock Canelo out. But he had to take that fight. We are always going to judge you for not taking that fight. You fought everybody. You accomplished a lot. You did a lot. But you didn't take the fight with the guy that everybody wanted you to fight, that was your mandatory, that people thought he was going to beat you up. It looks like you also believe he was going to beat you up because you didn't want to take the fight. Down pound. Would have been Canelo's first time getting stopped? I believe so, bro. I believe that David Benavidez would have absolutely pummeled Canelo Alvarez. So Canelo Alvarez is focusing on wanting that rematch. You know, you may have seen him floating it out there on different podcasts. Yeah, I want the rematch. I definitely want the rematch. Now forget about the rematch. Terrence Crawford done told you that he retired. He told the world that he retired. He's been telling us in convincing fashion, I'm done. I'm not selling my soul. You can offer me $100. I don't want it. I'm done. I did everything I had to do in boxing. Go fight Benavidez. That was your mandatory. That's a fight that the fans was calling for years. And you refused to give him an opportunity. Gave him an opportunity. Let's see what happens, how that fight plays out. Pass the torch. Take your beating like a man. John Parham, as a Rocky fan, but definitely used that line many times. Raul Pacheco, who has the better chance to win, I guess, Benavidez or Crawford? Is that what you're asking? Or the better resume? You say who has the better, Benavidez or Crawford? So I don't know what you mean, the better what, my G. So again, this rematch, I don't see it happening, my peoples. I don't see it. With what Crawford has already expressed, and as confident as he sounds about it, and then you saw he even had a retirement party. If you follow him on social media, he had a retirement party with his family and his peoples. That's it. I really believe that Terrence Crawford closed out his career on top, at the top. John Parham, I think we get it later this year. That rematch, you think we get it later this year? God damn, you don't believe at all in what Terrence Crawford said. You think he capping? I don't think so, bro. I think we don't get that at all. My peoples, Devin, Debo, Haney, Alice Johnson, salute, bam. Devin, Debo, Haney. The stock is up. We're not hearing no more haters talking about, oh, he's not the same anymore. Ryan Garcia beat the shit out of him. Nah, that's it. He not the same. He's scared. He runs because of Ramirez show in Times Square. He was running too much. He not the same fighter. That talk is over. That's it. Now it's Debo Devin Haney. What are some potential matchups for Devin Haney? Well, he already talked about Keyshawn Davis. Wanted to fight Keyshawn Davis before fighting Shakur Stevenson. But you guys know that Devin has always wanted that fight with Ryan Garcia. Always wanted that fight. Always wanted that rematch. And I'm going to be the one to remind you. I'll be the one to remind you. If Ryan Garcia would have beat Rollies in Times Square, they would have been fighting next. They would have been fighting next. Alex Johnson, I remember you timed me out last time. You must have said some hating ass shit. I can't remember what you said. Only you remember what you said. But you definitely was on some hating that shit. And you kept hating. And eventually I had to say you on a timeout. You was on some negative vibes. I can't remember. There's too many people that come in with that negative vibe. But you know what you were saying and what you was doing. You didn't get time out for nothing. Nobody gets time out for nothing. Only you remember, Alice, what happened. Clifton Dennis. Devin has to fix Xander of Hope. Ryan wins to lock up a big fight. In my opinion, Shakur fight ain't happening. Or the Keyshawn fight. I'll tell you what. Devin Haney versus Xander Sayers, that's a good fight. That's a good fight. Will Devin move up to 154? I don't know. I think, at 147, he looked great. Matter of fact, he looked amazing. At 147. So I'm like, so Alice, now I remember, you was talking about everything but boxing. This is a boxing channel. You talking about dance? If you're not talking about boxing, you're about to go on another 24-hour break. So whatever you say next, that shit better be about boxing, Alice. This not a dance channel, and it's not about other shit that you want to talk about. So let's get with the program over here before you go on another 24-hour break. So we know that Ryan Garcia kind of fumbled the bag when he lost to Rollies in Times Square. Kind of fumbled the bag. Because that would have set up the rematch. And a rematch between Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia is very much anticipated. We want to see that fight. We know the controversy of the first fight. We know exactly how that fight played out, but also why. Ryan Garcia showed up 3 pounds overweight and also tested positive. We can't dismiss that part of it. Wade Barati, I'm 40, just did the Austin Golden Gloves, did 3 fights, 1 knockout, and lost a split decision at the end. First fight guy missed weight, so they moved me up in the bracket. Feel good for 40. Whoa, Wade Barati, salute family, in the Golden Gloves at 40 years old and winning fights. Yo, much respect to you, my brother. Much respect. You out there facing young, hungry lions and you winning fights? Congratulations, family. You gotta feel good. You gotta be feeling real good about that. Shit. JJ said, get him the fuck. Yeah, you know, you're not talking boxing, you're on your way out. You close to it. Just stay quiet and listen to everybody else. Raul Pacheco, all they have to do is put the scorecards out. The assassin, I think that's a she. The lunatic librarian. I did it at 40. Yo, at 40 years old, man, if you step in the ring and you accomplish, got it, you know, it's respectful. Alice, if you keep saying dance, we just going to have to kick you out. Alice, but I haven't heard you say nothing about boxing. I heard you speak a lot, comment a lot, but you haven't said anything about boxing, Alice. Are you going to say something boxing related? I haven't heard it yet. Raul Pacheco, Garcia rematch. We want to see that fight, man. We want to see Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, and see how that rematch plays out. Because the first fight, yeah, Ryan Garcia beat the crap out of Devin Haney. That's a nasty beatdown. Dropped him multiple times, left him swelled up, but you was cheating. You was cheating. You told us that you deliberately showed up overweight, that Floyd told you to show up 3 pounds overweight. That's cheating, my peoples. Wade Barati, thank you, sir. I was the oldest guy on the bracket. Yeah, man, at 40 years old, I would expect that you're the oldest or close to it. Because you don't see a lot of 40-year-olds winning in the Golden Gloves, my G. So that's great for you. Wade Barati, I tried Not Reynoso's boxing gym, Austin, Texas, the senior bracket, 19 to 40, to Masters, no more. Raul Pacheco, if Ryan gets his win, I think it should be a rematch between Haney Garcia. We want to see it, bro. We definitely want to see it. Hold on, because Alice is over here just to have conversation with people, but not to talk about boxing. Alice, take a 24-hour break. Take a 24-hour break because this is a boxing channel, and you want to just come in to have a conversation. You think this is a dating app or something? This is a boxing channel, Alice. You got to get with the program. If you need conversations, you got to find other channels to do that. Bishop, I wanted to see Fundora versus Terrence Crawford. I wanted to see that too. Unfortunately, Fundora and his team didn't want to see it, family. They could have had that fight. They didn't want it. The Lunatic Librarian. I fought at 165. Took home the silver at the weight class 2023. Was 40 also. Opponent was in his 20s. You see, those are monster wins, bro. Those are monster wins. When you in your 40s, beating somebody in their 20s, salute. Bam. They just said that Jay Smith. Your shirt goes good with the color of your eyes. Like, you already know, man. You got to get the fuck out of here. They be thinking this is a dating app. Like, how you come up in here and you're just going to have random conversation with people? Get the hell out of here. The Assassin, she'll be back tomorrow to complete the 24 times 3. Nah, tomorrow she getting blocked. That's it. Tomorrow we're gonna have to block. Like you coming in here like you don't know shit about boxing, you getting blocked. She's starting to remind me of a dude that went in and was like, yo, I love boxing. I know Mike Tyson. Yo, when somebody says, I know Mike Tyson, you getting blocked. You don't even need a 24. You getting blocked the fuck out of here, baby. What you mean you know Mike Tyson? Hey, what do you mean? Shakur has let her rock. Oh, you see, man, you messed up. You should have just asked her for IG, and then you guys talk on IG and link up or whatever. Shakur hands you on some other shit. You don't even want to talk boxing with her. You just trying to get you a boo out here. The lunatic librarian. I see Ryan winning against Barrios. And then Haney fight, it's a unification fight for the WBC and WBO belts. The rematch between Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia would be huge. If Ryan beats Barrios and becomes a world champion, and now it's a unification fight, that's huge. Huge. Shaggy, or I know Roy Jones. Like, what you talking about? You know Roy Jones. Do you realize how long ago they retired, and that's what you bring up that you know? Get the fuck out of here. We already know you don't watch boxing. Southwest Dice. Shakur needs to stop ducking Debo. I don't know how you feel like he's ducking Debo. Debo is the one who ran out the division and vacated all of the titles to avoid Shakur. And now they're in different divisions. And Debo keeps running to a whole different division to stay away from Shakur. So I don't know how Shakur could be ducking somebody who keeps leaving to another division, bro. What are we talking about here? The Shakur hate is too much. Shakur hands. See, people love my signatures. You know I ain't thinking about Alice in Wonderland, Clifton Dennis, and stop Mario even bigger. Whoa. If Ryan Garcia stopped Mario Barrios, it's going to be Ryan Incredible Hulk Garcia versus Debo Devin Haney. Gonna be a good fight. Don't get it twisted. It's gonna be a good fight. It's me. I'm the guy that's helping Shakur with Mauricio Sulaiman stripping him. JJ said that Jay Smith. I know Rocky Marciano. Imagine that, baby. Like that's how you know somebody doesn't really follow boxing. They'll just name a big superstar. It's like, yeah, basketball. Oh my God, I love basketball. I know Michael Jordan. Shut your goofy ass up. The lunatic librarian. See how long Keyshawn stays at 140. He's already floated the idea of going to 147. So we're going to find out. Is he going to go to 147 next? He already spoke about the possibility of fighting one of the welterweight champs. Bishop King. I did think Ryan and Errol Spence. Whoa, Ryan versus Errol at welterweight? It could happen. That's a fight that could happen. Southwest Dice. Devin said they can both get it. Keyshawn and Shakur. What's up? No, Southwest. Southwest Dice. Let's be honest. Let's say how it is. Devin said he want to fight them, but he wants little bro Keyshawn first. Why you want Keyshawn first? Why you can't just say, Shakur, let's fight? Why you can't say, Shakur, come to 147, I'm going to give you a title shot? Why you got to fight Keyshawn first? Always putting a condition. Always putting something between you and Shakur. First, the 25% fake offer, and then ran from the division. Now you're putting Keyshawn in front of Shakur. We know Shakur is more accomplished than Keyshawn. Won more titles, won more everything than Keyshawn. Why you don't say, I want to fight Shakur? Why you always got to put a condition in front of Shakur? I got to fight Keyshawn first and then Shakur. To me, you got to fight Keyshawn first. That's why I have a hard time believing that he really want to fight Shakur, because there's always something that he's putting in between them. It's never, yo, Shakur, let's fight. It's never that. Shakur is like, yo, let's fight. I want you. Look it up. There's endless video of Shakur saying, I want to fight Devin. There isn't a single video of Devin saying, I want to fight Shakur. Now that he's showing interest, there's the condition right there. I want to fight Shakur, but Keyshawn first. Why Keyshawn first? Why not just go straight for Shakur? Because he don't want that smoke, bro. Don't believe it. For now, it's clout. He don't want that smoke. Bishop King. That's true. I didn't think of that perspective. Yo, I'm telling you, Devin Haney is always putting a condition between him and Shakur. It's never, yo, Shakur, let's fight. What's good with you? Never. When? When is he going to say, yo, Shakur, let's fight. Let's fight me and you. Now that he finally mentioned him, it's with Keyshawn Davis attached to that mention. Keyshawn first and then Shakur. You don't want to fight Shakur. You want to fight Keyshawn. That's what you're telling me. You're telling me that you want to fight Keyshawn. You're not telling me that you want to fight Shakur. Truth. The fight doesn't need to be rushed. They both are still young. Bro, it's not being rushed. That fight was supposed to happen at 135 when Shakur Stevenson was his mandatory, my guy. Shakur Stevenson was the mandatory at 135 more than 2 years ago, bro. How long ago was it that Shakur was his mandatory? That's far from being rushed. That's not being rushed. We want to get them in their prime, and they're going to be in their prime for years. But if Devin Haney keeps running to a new division and keeps saying, I got to fight this guy first, we're going to end up getting Shakur and Devin at 38, 39 years old. 10 years from now. We don't need that. We want it right now. We could have it right now. They're both accomplished enough. They both done a lot in the sport of boxing. It's a great time to make that fight. Right now. It's been marinating long enough, my G. Been marinating for years. How many more years you want to marinate that fight, bro? That's it. It's marinated. Let's get it. Miguel Rodriguez. He might not make it to Shakur because Devin is going to knock his ass out. He might not make it. He might not make it to Shakur because Devin's going to knock his ass out. You mean Ryan Garcia? Who's Devin going to knock out? John Parham, Shakur, Cook, and Ben. Oh, now listen. If Shakur Stevenson and Conor Ben happens, Ben is food. Conor Ben is food for Shakur Stevenson. And he used the line that I would have never expected. You're not going to be able to keep me off of you. Man, shut the hell up. Shut the hell up. What you mean you're not going to be able to keep me off of you? Clifton Dennis, Jay, you're not being fair. He said he would take either or. He said Keyshawn first. But then he corrected himself. Nah, bro. No. Nah. That's cap, bro. Devin Haney has been consistent with little bro first and then Shakur. I'm saying exactly what he tweeted. The part where he corrected himself, I never seen that nowhere. Right now, I'm going to say that you're making that up out of thin air because you're a Shakur Stevenson hater. You're making that up. He never said that. Never corrected himself. Either you making that up out of thin air or somebody lied to you and you believed it. Because the only thing Devin posted, and he tweeted it, is that he want to fight both, but little bro first and then Shakur. Stop the cap, bro. It's up there. He never corrected nothing. You trying to correct it for him. Jay Beasy, no boxer should ever box again after quitting. Now, I disagree with you. I disagree with you on that. And I'm going to tell you why I disagree with you on that, Jay Beasy. In boxing, we have this culture where we go down hard on the fighter for quitting, right? But it's easy for you to do that, Jay Beasy, when you're watching them on TV. You're not the one getting punched in the face. You're not the one getting your nose broken, your mouth broken. You're not the one getting sent to the hospital. So it's easy for you to be like, nah, go down on your shield. Get beat up until they knock you out. But nah, bro, I've been in the ring. I didn't quit, but I've been in the ring. I've been hit. I've been dropped. And I know what that feel like. So it's easy to say it, you know, from the living room when you're watching TV like this. Ooh, yeah, get beat up for my entertainment purposes. But the truth is, if a fighter getting outclassed and he's getting hurt, like they hurting him out there, the right thing to do is for his corner to stop the fight. Your corner is not supposed to put you in a position where you quit. Your corner's not doing their job. They're going to let you get pummeled out there. They're going to let you get killed out there out of pride, out of what the fans want to see. Like, I'll give you an example. When Ryan Garcia was getting beat up, when Ryan Garcia was beating the crap out of Devin Haney, yo, if I was Devin's pops, I would have stopped that fight. I would never let my son take a beating like that. Where his jaw swole up, mouth swole up, getting dropped over and over, legs not under him. I wouldn't let my son take that beating. So he's not going to have to quit. Because in between rounds, I'm going to tell the ref, yo, this is over, this is over. And my son going to be mad at me, but his health is more important to me than this W. And even if Devin Haney's pops would have pulled the plug on this fight, the results would have been overturned because Ryan Garcia tested positive. That O would have been, that one on his losses, that one loss would have became a no contest. So we just have a culture of wanting to see guys get beat up to the end. We have a culture in boxing of wanting guys to go down on their shield. And you respect that. But guess what, JBZ? When a fighter end up punch drunk, you don't give a fuck about them. You don't post about, yo, let's do a GoFundMe for this fighter, man. He fought like I wanted him to. He fought like to my satisfaction. And now that he's punch drunk and broke, let's help him make some money. Let's help him out. You see, you don't give a fuck when they end up punch drunk. Nobody does. So at the end of the day, if a fighter quit in the ring, I might trash talk because we're going to do that. But ultimately, I'm going to respect them. Like, don't get yourself killed out there out of pride. Don't get yourself killed out of what the fans want to see, because the fans is not going to take care of you in the hospital. They're not going to take care of you when you can't even talk right because you've been taking a beating. So I'm not with that. I'm not with that. I prefer for your corner to do their job and stop the fight rather than allowing you to get pummeled. But if your corner not stopping it and you know what's going on, you feeling that damage that's being caused, I'm okay with the fighter saying, no more, baby, I'm good. I'm not out here to get killed. The only way I'm not with it, with a fighter quitting, is when they pull a funny shit. Like remember when Crawford caught Amir Khan with a nasty body shot and Amir tried to play it off like it was a low blow? That wasn't a low blow. You see, he quit. That type of quit I don't like. Because you faked it to get yourself out of that fight. I'm not with that at all. But if you getting beat up out there, yeah, of course. Of course, I'm okay with you quitting. Southwest, Shakur is a duck. Turned down, undisputed. He talking about rehydration clause. He's scared of Devin. You see, Southwest, I already debunked that logic like a million times. You say he ducked, turned down undisputed, but he was the mandatory. It was Devin Haney who actually ducked when he decided to drop the titles and run from the division. You see, Devin Haney is the first fighter in history to fool you like that. He got a mandatory, he made an offer and ran from the division. And now you think the other guy's a duck. Devin Haney didn't really fool you. What really happened is that you got so much hate for Shakur that you never tell the whole story. You say that Shakur ducked because he turned down undisputed, but you forget that he was the mandatory. The mandatory don't got to take the offer. The mandatory can take you to a purse bid. The mandatory is going to get the low ball offer when they go to purse bid. But Devin Haney, before going to purse bid, announced that he was leaving the division and vacated his titles. Got debowed out of his belts. Definitely duck. I know you like that narrative, but that's just the Shakur Stevenson hater narrative. That's all that is. John Parham, can we get to 50, my peoples? We've been going at it for 2 hours, not even 50 likes. Why y'all gotta do me like that? Y'all don't gotta hate on me like Southwest Dice is hating on Shakur. Don't do it. Clifton Dennis. Let's leave that alone. We've been down that road. Jay is stuck in his decision. He won't change his mind. But Clifton Dennis, I'm stuck on the facts. The fact, you see, that's the thing. When you're a Shakur Stevenson hater, you like your narrative, which is based on your opinion. But when you're an analyst, you look at the facts. The facts are that Shakur was his mandate. Look, you see, you can't even contradict what I'm saying. The facts are Shakur was Devin Haney's mandatory. Devin Haney made a 25% offer. Shakur, being the mandatory, didn't have to take the 20% offer, the 25% offer. Shakur said, no, I'm not taking that offer. Let's go to purse bid. And right before they went to purse bid, about 3-4 days before going to purse bid, Devin Haney said, nope, I don't want to find out how much money I could get paid. I don't want to find out what the purse bid is going to be. I'm out of here. I'm dropping these titles and leaving to a whole different divisions. How do you make an offer and leave the division without even going to purse bid? So what you may not understand, Southwest Dice, what you may not understand that I'm trying to teach you right here is that the negotiations didn't end when Shakur turned down the 25%. The negotiation ended when Devin Haney vacated the titles and left the division. He ducked. Those are the facts. Now, I understand you feel like Shakur should have done what you want him to do. Shakur haters are like, no, Shakur got to do what I want him to do. But no, it's real boxing. And in real boxing, fighters, mandatory fighters, don't got to take no offer. They don't got to take no offer. They could take your ass to purse bid. And that's exactly what Shakur was going to do, take his ass to purse bid. Devin Haney chose not to go to purse bid. Do you understand that? Southwest, I debunked that one too. And let me school you once again. George Kambosos was a champion and Devin Haney was a champion. George Kambosos was not a mandatory and was never going to be a mandatory. So what you need to learn this. Devin Haney had to do whatever George Kambosos wanted because George Kambosos didn't have to take the fight, son. I'm schooling you. I'm teaching you. Learn. George Kambosos made Devin Haney fight him, give him a rematch, and both fights in Australia. Devin Haney had to take all of it because he was not a mandatory. George Kambosos, at any point in time, could have told Devin Haney, if you don't like what I want, go kick rocks. There's a big difference with Shakur, who was the actual mandatory. Learn the difference between a unification and a mandatory. A fighter doesn't have to give you a unification, but you have to fight your mandatory. And what happens if George Kambosos would have told Devin Haney, go kick rocks? Kambosos would have kept his titles because he don't have to fight Devin Haney. He would have kept all his belts. What happened when Devin Haney chose not to fight Shakur? Oops! Lost his mandatory status, lost all his titles, left the whole division. He ducked Shakur. You make horrible arguments that amongst Shakur Stevenson haters, you guys could make those arguments and you could agree with each other. Yeah. But no, Devin Haney ducked Shakur Stevenson when he chose not to fight his mandatory. There is no such thing as, I made an offer to my mandatory, so I don't got to fight him. And that's what you're saying. That's what you're really saying. Well, he made an offer, so he don't got to fight him. It's okay that he vacated and left the division because he made an offer. No, brother. You're getting cooked. Don't make me grab my frying pan. Because every one of those weak arguments that you've made a million times, I've already debunked a million times. It's too easy, bro. It's too easy to know who ducked. Unless you're Shakur Stevenson haters and you have horrible arguments to make. Skip a Clipper in the building. Bam! Salute, family. The letter M. Shakur versus Ben. Haney versus Garcia 2. Tszyu versus Tank 2026. Whoa. Tank Davis is a fighter that I want to see with one of the big names. I want to see Tank Davis fighting either Shakur or Devin or Tszyu, any one of them. Gary Antoine Russell, too. That's somebody I'd like to see with Tank Davis. We're not getting those fights, man. Of course, we know that right now, Tank is dealing with a legal situation. Told you guys before, Tank didn't murder nobody. He didn't get caught with 50 kilos of coke. He didn't get caught with an explosive trying to blow something up. Nah. It's a domestic situation. It is serious. Domestic stuff is serious. But he's not going to do a bunch of time in jail. He's not going to do a bunch of years in jail. Nothing like that. Tank Davis is going to probably do months in jail. And he's only 30 years old. There you have it. Tank is going to be able to climb the ring possibly later this year or early in 2027. We're going to see Tank Davis. Still in his prime. Still one of the biggest stars in boxing. I want to see it. I want to see it. Clifton Dennis. Someone call out Russell. I forgot who. Man, a lot of people don't want to see him. The letter M. Fried food. Bro, when people try to make the argument about Shakur ducking Devin at 135 because he should have took the offer that they wanted him to take, y'all easy food, man. You're like Conor Ben versus Shakur Stevenson. Food. Tasty food. Skip a Clipper. I believe he will fight Shakur eventually. I want to see that fight, bro. And it's like I told y'all before, I was following up on Shakur Stevenson versus Devin Haney when they was at 135. And I really believed the fight was going to happen. Like, I was posting about it already. I was like, yeah, this fight is going to happen. This fight is going down. And then Devin Haney caught us by surprise. When 3 days before the purse bid, he was like, oh, I'm dropping my title. I'm leaving the division. Now, how real was the 25% offer when shortly after he left the division and vacated the title? How real was that offer? That was a fake-ass offer. Only Devin Haney fans and Shakur Stevenson haters believe that offer was real. That was that offer. So if we do this, the fans are going to say that it was Shakur that ducked. And it worked. Devin Haney ducked and made it look like Shakur was the one ducking. That shit was crazy. Rosa Andre, Jay Smith, take out the pan because some of these people have no clue on what they talking about. Completely clueless, bro. Look, sometimes it's not that they clueless, it's that they just hate Shakur. So it's like I got to formulate an argument against them. So it's more the hate than being clueless a lot of times. Because when other fighters do what Devin Haney did, they call him a duck. They know what a duck is. How you got a mandatory, you don't fight your mandatory, but the mandatory is ducking you because they didn't take your offer. Think about what that really means. What they're suggesting is that any fighter who's a champion and got a mandatory, they could just offer whatever they want. And that's it. You don't take it. Yes, I'm out of here. I'm not fighting you. I'm not going to purse bid like I'm supposed to. I'm out of here. I'm vacating everything. You duck because I made an offer. Does that shit even make sense? That's like the most horrible argument that people could make. But that's what happens. When you hate on a fighter, you formulate horrible opinions. And I'll give you an example. It's not even about ducking or not. But look at Terrence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez. How many people jumped on social media and said, if Gamboa hurt him, imagine what Canelo's going to do to him. Oh, my God, Gamboa wobble him. Imagine what Canelo's going to... Think about how dumb it is that Crawford fought Kambosos more than 10 years. More than 10 years prior to Canelo. 1,000 divisions below. And people thinking that one thing is going to be connected to the other. The expectations were, well, Gamboa wobbled Crawford 10 years ago, 1,000 divisions down, so Canelo's going to knock him out. Clearly, you don't know what you don't know shit about boxing, bro. Southwest Dice. Jay Smith, did Shakur drop the belt to avoid his mandatory? We're talking about, I don't know what subject you're trying to change, but we're talking about Devin Haney and Shakur Stevenson. When it comes to Devin and Shakur, Devin was the mandatory. Devin had his mandatory and Shakur Stevenson. He made an offer. Shakur said, no, I don't have to take it because I'm your mandatory. Let's go to purse bid. And 3 days before the purse bid, Devin said, oops, I'm not going to stay in this division anymore. I'm dropping the title. He ducked. There's no getting around it. He ducked Shakur Stevenson at 135. Jay is in the house. Boxing for breakfast. I'm having spaghetti for breakfast. Whoa. Going down with the pasta. You're trying to be strong for the rest of the day. You're trying to have a long day or getting that bread, getting that paper. Rosa Andre. Bill Haney knows what he's doing with the ducking games. I mean, like I told y'all, man, that was one of the best duck strategies that you ever seen. Because they gave ammunition to the Shakur Stevenson haters to say that he's ducking. How exactly do you duck a fighter when you telling them, let's go to purse bid, family? We go in a purse bid. And right before the purse bid, Devin vacate the title and leave the division. Who does that? What? Look, I'm going to put it to you guys like this. When is the last time you saw a fighter have a mandatory, make an offer and leave the division right after making an offer? Who does that? What are you talking about? Who makes an offer only to vacate and leave the division? Come on, man. How much, like, you already well done. You're already well done. How cooked do you want to be, bro? The Soto hybrid. They had to go back 10 years over a single punch. Like, that's insane that people actually believe that logic. Yeah, you know, 10 years ago, this other guy smaller wobbled him. So 10 years later, when he's older, bigger, stronger, he's going to get knocked out by Canelo because of what happened at 135 10 years ago. That was like the dumbest logic ever. And you know what was funny about that logic? That they also used it when Bud was going to fight Errol. If Gamboa wobbled him, imagine what Errol's going to do to him. Bro. So you didn't learn when you use that logic with Errol and watch Errol get knocked out, brutally beat up, you didn't learn that logic doesn't work? You had the balls to use it again? So they really use that Gamboa punch for the rest of Terence Crawford's career up until his last fight. Insane, my peoples. Clifton Dennis, Rosa, Bill Cook, Shakur team. Shakur hands. You remember the famous, I'm going to 140, bro. Come on now. Come on now. Devin Haney was basically not trying to fight Shakur Stevenson and done left to a whole new division to avoid that fight. It's a no-brainer who duck who. Rosa Andre. Gamboa can really punch very hard. Might not have a chin, but that man can punch. And now in bare knuckle fight. And I think he does. I think Gamboa does got a good chin. He just, if you get hit by a hard puncher, that's what could happen. But Gamboa wasn't around just getting dropped by everybody. Shaggy, duck of the decade. Add him to the list. Devin is up there. That was a duck. That was the same way Canelo ducked Benavidez, Devin Haney been ducking Shakur. The same way. There's no difference. Side, we already ready to go to 40, bro. They never wanted it, bro. They never wanted that fight. It's easy to see that that was a fake offer. The Blue Baron. Hey, Wilder versus Chisora. Who you got? I haven't made a prediction on that fight. I'm still trying to figure out, you know, where Wilder is going to be at. Trying to figure that out. The letter M, where's Gamboa now? Gamboa doing bare knuckle boxing, bro. Bare knuckle boxing. And I'm going to be honest, I don't like that sport. I don't like that sport at all. It's too... Come on, people fighting with their fists, that's like some street shit. To me, that's like some street shit they got going on. I don't like it at all. And to be honest, I don't like boxers going over there either. You know why? This is the reason. Boxers, look at Gamboa had a long career. And Gamboa did good, had a good career. But he took a lot of punishment in his career. Now, in order to keep making money or have an opportunity to climb up and be at the top of that sport, he's going to take more punishment. What's going to happen? Now you're getting hit bare knuckles. You get all cut up. And these boxers who had a long career, Paulie Malignaggi, now you see Gamboa, these boxers who had a long career and took a lot of punishment in the ring, you get punishment now here, and you're going to end up how? You're going to end up punch drunk. You're going to end up with CTE. You're going to end up taking all type of concussions after having this type of career. You're going to fuck your health up badly. So I don't really support that shit. Honestly, I don't support it. Southwest. Jay Smith question, did Shakur drop his title to avoid mandatory Jadir Herrera? Bro, there is nobody in planet Earth who would think that Shakur was ducking Jadir Herrera. Most people in here couldn't pull Jadir Herrera out of a goddamn lineup. You should embarrass yourself by bringing that up. Devin Haney was ducking Shakur, who a lot of people think would have whooped his ass. There is nobody in planet Earth, bro, that thinks Jadir Herrera even had a chance, bro. Jadir Herrera would have been like a million times underdog versus Shakur Stevenson. You should be embarrassing yourself. You should be too embarrassed to bring up Jadir Herrera in a conversation when we're talking about Shakur and Devin Haney. What are you doing, bro? What are you doing? Shakur vacated to duck Jadir Herrera? You the only person in planet Earth that would suggest that Shakur Jadir, bro. Where's Jadir Herrera right now? Most people can't pull him out of a lineup, bro. Don't do that to yourself. Don't do it to yourself, bro. Please don't do it. De Soto hybrid. Who is Herrera? I don't know. Yo, ask Southwest Dice. What the hell is he even talking about? The hate for Shakur, Southwest Dice, is too much. You gotta leave it. You gotta leave it alone, bro. My boy says Shakur dug Jadir Herrera. Nature Boy. Haney beat Shakur by decision. That's a reasonable look. That's a reasonable prediction. I got Shakur winning that fight, but that's a reasonable prediction. Debo Dev is a special fighter. Devin Haney is right now the best we ever seen him. The strongest we ever seen him. Now he finally got power. The power that we never saw before, we seen it now. At welterweight, he's in his right place. Mr. Kale, Jadir most likely gonna get fully elevated. Like, that should be embarrassing. Yo, Shakur vacated to duck Jadir Herrera. Well, what are we doing over here? You gotta be trolling at this point, bro. Side, Tito Mercado been calling out Shakur too. He'd get worked. It's like, come on, man. Shakur is already the number 3 pound-for-pound fighter in the world right now. This very moment, my peoples. This very moment. That's Shakur Stevenson. Number 3 in the world. And bro brought up Jadir Herrera. What are we doing, bro? What are we doing? Like, Shakur would cook this guy with his eyes closed, one hand behind his back on rollerblades with a shower cap and blindfolded. Easy work. Black Cadillac. Don't sleep on Haney. Now listen. Nobody should be sleeping on Devin Haney. Nobody. Why? Because number one, the only reason people started to sleep on Dev is because he got beat up by Ryan Garcia. But we know what happened. Ryan Garcia showed up 3 pounds overweight and tested positive. That's it. That's the only loss in Devin Haney's career, which was overturned. It's a no contest. No contest. So if you sleeping on Devin Haney, you just don't know shit about boxing. Don't know shit about boxing. Tune in to Boxing for Breakfast so you can learn. Subscribe to Box Center so you can learn about boxing, because you don't know shit about it. You don't sleep on Devin Haney. That's the reason why they're calling him Debo. Debo. Rosa Andre, Southwest Dice, respectfully, you talking crazy. You know nothing about boxing. I mean, yo, Southwest Dice is a hardcore Shakur Stevenson hater or a really hardcore Devin Haney fan. But now he a Shakur Stevenson hater. He already floated all of the Shakur Stevenson hater logic. He ducked because he didn't take the offer. That's Shakur Stevenson hater logic. So yeah, Shakur Stevenson hater. Maybe in other aspects he knows some things about boxing. In this case, he just talking from a hater point of view. The Blue Baron. British boxing has really fallen off in the last few years. But wait a minute, because there's a few British fighters out there that are showing out, that are doing their thing. British commentary is horrible. That I gotta say. Jay is in there. Cartoon Network. Hanna-Barbera. John Parham. Appreciate the likes. Appreciate you, my peoples. We almost at 60 likes. Let's get it. Frank Rice. What about Abdullah Mason? Bro, Abdullah Mason is a super, super special fighter. He's going to accomplish a lot in the sport of boxing. I expect Abdullah Mason to be one of those fighters who grabs multiple titles in his division, then goes to the next division, grabs multiple titles again, and I don't know how many divisions he's going to conquer in, but Abdullah Mason is going to do a lot in the sport of boxing. John Parham, Mason's still green, but a problem in time. Yo, Abdullah Mason is going to accomplish a lot. Rosa Andre, no one's hating or sleeping on Debo, but he's ducking. Facts are facts. Oh, he been ducking Shakur Stevenson. And it's like I told you, now he's putting a condition. I want Shakur, but Keyshawn first. Nah, what you mean Keyshawn first? Call out Shakur and ask for that fight. Get that fight. Frank Rice, John Parham, you ain't lying. That boy's special. Listen, John Parham ain't never lied. John Parham be coming with the truth consistently. John Parham, I don't think Dev ducks. Bill just move him different. JJ's in there has 56 likes. Come on, my peoples. We almost at 60. Let's get it. So, the main topic of conversation when we started this show was Errol Spence, who's been out of boxing for over 2 years. My peoples. Out of boxing for over 2 years and still decided that he's not going to do a tune-up. That's something that worries me, to be honest. That's something that concerns me. However, we've seen Keith Thurman be inactive for like 2 years, come back, fight the Australian kid, and beat the crap out of him. Right now, we've seen Errol Spence looking good, looking strong, looking like he'll be in super great shape when it's time to come back. Let's see it. Victor J. Tszyu, it's a tune-up. Well, that's your opinion. Tszyu, I don't see him as a tune-up at all. I see Tszyu. You see, I'm not a social media boxing fan, so I don't see a guy taking a loss and already he's a bum and he's a nobody. You know, I've been in the ring myself. So Tszyu, definitely not a tune-up. I'm going to remind you that Jermell Charlo had the opportunity to fight Tszyu and he didn't want to fight him. Tszyu was Charlo's mandatory. Mandatory. Yo, I'm telling you, John, Mr. KO, Sometimes the people who think that they know boxing don't know shit about boxing, man. They need to listen to us, man. Just sometimes you gotta just shut up and listen to the people who actually know, bro. But not Victor J. You're fast forwarding the movie. You see, sometimes when they talking about Shakur, they rewind the movie and play one little bit, and now you fast forwarding the movie. I'm gonna be the one to remind you that first, Tszyu was Charlo's mandatory for over 6 months, and Charlo didn't want to take the fight. Then they mandated the fight, and Charlo took it, and they had a date and everything, and Charlo said, "Oop, my wrist got hurt. I can't fight." They didn't fight him. And then he came back, "Oh yeah, now I'm gonna go fight Canelo." Bro, before the Canelo fight happened, Tszyu was his mandatory for over a year, bro. Fought somebody else. So no, Charlo didn't just go for the Canelo payday like you said. He ducked Tszyu for over a year. And then the Canelo payday became available while Tszyu was already the mandatory and had been the mandatory. Charlo ducked Tszyu. No getting around that. That's your mandatory. Didn't fight him, and then waited for a payday and went and got that payday. But you avoided Tszyu. That is a fact. There's no getting around that. Mr. KO, both of them took good beatings, though. I would still like to fight. And we was talking about that earlier. You know, the last time we seen Errol Spence, obviously, was versus Bud Crawford. Took the beating of a lifetime. A nasty beating. But you guys got to remember, Timmy himself took 2 nasty beatings to Fundora, and then another one to Bakram Mortasalia. Bakram put a number on him. Bakram put a number on him. So, Tszyu has taken more damage than Errol Spence. But I want to point something out that you have to consider. Tszyu been active. Been active. Lost some fights, but he's been active. You have to consider that because Canelo's been out for 2 years. Over 2 years at this point. Maybe 2.5. They fought in September. October, November, December, January, February. 2 years and a half. Errol Spence been inactive. 2 years, 5 months, something like that. So coming back after that much inactivity, you have to wonder, is there going to be any ring rust? And this right here is going to be a slugfest. This could turn into a bloodbath, my peoples. Why I'm telling you this? Think about their style of boxing. Think about how Errol fight and how Tszyu fight. The letter M. So it's a risky fight, of course. Super risky fight. Front right, Spence and his trainer got exposed by Bud. I mean, they took a nasty beating. But they took a nasty beating to the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world. That's why I said when Devin Haney was going to fight Brian Norman Jr., I told people Devin Haney was going to win that fight. They thought Norman Jr. was going to win because he'd been knocking people out. And I told people, yo, Devin Haney's not Jin Sasaki. So it's the same thing, yes. Errol took a nasty beating, but he took that beating to the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world, the best fighter of this generation. It's not like he out there getting pummeled by anybody. And Tszyu is no Terrence Crawford. Why is this fight going to be a bloodbath and it's going to be a slugfest? Think about the style of fighting that both of these guys bring to the table. Let that sizzle in your spirit. Neither guy likes to back down. Both guys like to apply pressure. Both guys like to trade. My people, this is going to be a brutal, brutal fight. And exciting to watch for the fans. Mr. KO, I can see somebody getting stopped in this fight. I think it's needed because they're both planning on coming back. Whoever wins is gonna be clean. They got non-stop engines. I'm telling you, man, this is gonna be a real good fight. It's gonna be a real competitive fight. Nobody getting washed. Tszyu not getting washed. And Errol Spence definitely not getting washed. I can't even make a prediction. I can't even make a prediction. Since Tszyu is going to do a tune-up first, I'm going to wait for that. And remember, Tszyu fought recently. So what I believe is that they're going to do a tune-up to step him up in competition, to get him ready for that fight with Errol. But Errol coming back after all that time and saying, I'm going straight for Tszyu, that's gangster shit right there, but it could be dangerous. Could be dangerous. Rosa Andre, Errol Spence should worry about his health. Way more important, my opinion, car accident, the boxing crash with Buck Crawford beat the brakes off of that man. So I think after 2 years of inactivity, Errol Spence, physical-wise, he could be good. He could be really good. Like no residue, no leftover damage from things that happened that long ago. He could be good. You know, it could be a good break that he took where physically he's going to be in great shape. MAW, JPAJ side, everyone salute. Hit the like button, my peoples. Bam. Appreciate you, MAW. The letter M. I thought Norman Jr. was going to win. Boy, was I wrong. I try to tell you, you didn't want to listen to me. I told y'all, like, yo, listen. Brian Norman Jr. ain't never fight no Devin Haney. He beat up Jin Sasaki, but Jin Sasaki's here, Devin Haney's up there. It happened the way I expected it. Mr. KO, they not say to bang. I can see either of them getting hurt in that fight. Either one of them could get hurt. Either one of them could get knocked out. Because this is going to be, I expect it to turn into a fight from round number 1. From round number 1, it's going to turn into a fight. That's what I expect. Southwest, I'm sure Bud didn't ask for a rehydration clause with Canelo. I know Conor Ben asked for a rehydration clause with Chris Eubank Jr. I don't think you had a problem with that. What do you think about Conor Ben asking and getting a rehydration clause with Chris Eubank Jr.? What do you think about that? Fan first, when? So this fight is supposed to happen in the summertime. What they posted is that Tszyu is first going to do a tune-up, and then they're going to fight in the summer. Black Cadillac, dude, you're very knowledgeable of the sport of boxing. Do you commentate? If not, you should. I'll tune in. Bro, I do commentary. Yes, sir, I do commentary. All of the big fights, Fight Night with Jay Smith. In fact, I suggest if you have time, when you have time, check it out. Because my commentary is different than anything you ever seen. Way different. So I do commentary, and when the time is right, I'm going to get an opportunity. Right now, I'm doing commentary on my own channel, on Box Center, but a door's going to open up at some point. Rosa Andre, Tszyu is dangerous. Let's not forget, you have 2 guys that can change the outcome of a fight with 1 punch. But I will say, if we get the old Errol Spence, the usual Errol Spence, he's going to win this fight. Why? Number 1, Tszyu's not a defensive guru. He get hit a lot. Get hit a lot. Number 2, Errol Spence is a body snatcher. You guys know about that. Timmy's soft in the midsection. Errol's going to work that midsection. Number 3, Errol Spence is more defensively responsible than Tszyu and has a better defense. If you compare both of them, how much they get hit in their fights, Timmy get hit a lot more. So because of that, I can tell you, if Errol Spence is going to be the old Errol, if he's going to show up and be sharp, if he's going to have a great training camp, already look like he's going to be in great shape, Errol's going to win that fight. We just got to determine, is he going to be in great shape? And the mental aspect. Because we saw what happened to Adrian Broner. After Marcos Maidana beat him up, in every fight, we used to be like, yo, let your hands go, bro. Let your hands go, bro. Throw punches, fam. So what happened after Maidana put the beats on Adrian Broner became too cautious, too focused on not getting hit with those big shots. And he never let the hands go after that. That's it. So is Errol Spence going to be affected by what happened in his last fight? Is he going to turn into a more defensive fighter? Or is he still going to be the same old Errol Spence who let the hands fly? If he's going to let the hands fly, he's going to win this fight. Mr. KO. Nature Boy. Tim by knockout. Ooh. Tszyu by knockout. And look, I haven't been able to make a prediction for this fight. They just announced yesterday that it's going down. And the reason I haven't been able to make it is because I know it's going to turn into a slugfest. And both guys got the power to knock each other out. They both got it. Mr. KO, if Errol beats Tszyu, and if Thurman somehow gets Fedora, then it could be Spence versus Thurman. That's a fight that got away from us at 147. That fight got away from us. We wanted it. We really wanted that fight. And I'll say it's Fedora's fault. It's Keith Thurman's fault that we never got it. Because if you guys remember, Errol Spence was calling him out, and Fedora played the serious duck games. Look at the sequence. Look at the sequence, my peoples. First, Keith Thurman said, Errol Spence, he ain't beat nobody. He ain't a champion. You got to grab a belt if you want an opportunity. Well, then Errol Spence got a belt. Then Thurman was like, yeah, he got a belt, but he ain't really beat nobody. He got to beat somebody. Then Errol Spence unified titles. Yeah, but we got to wait so that it could be for undisputed. It's like Keith Thurman always kept putting a bar between them of what Errol Spence got to do so they could fight. Then, when Errol had 3 belts and Keith Thurman didn't have any because he lost, then he tried to say, yeah, you know, I want to fight Errol. And Errol was like, nah, nigga, go kick rocks. You didn't want to give me an opportunity. All this time, I've been calling you goofy ass for years, and you didn't want to fight. Now that I got 3 belts, and you ain't got shit, now you want to fight me? Get the fuck out of here. Get your goofy ass out of here. You ain't getting no shot. You a goofball. And I was okay with that. Remember that, my peoples. I was okay with that. Southwest Dice, leave Shakur alone, bro. That's it. We're not even talking about Shakur, bro. We already established that you're a Shakur Stevenson hater. You're talking about Buck Crawford and other shit. Like, we talking about Errol, my G. Forget about Shakur. We already know what you're doing. We already know what you is. Chill out. So, Keith Thurman could have fought Errol Spence when they were both world champions. And it could have been a unification fight. Thurman didn't want to do it. Thurman didn't want to do it. So then by the time Thurman didn't have a title, now he want to fight. Now he like, let's do it. And Errol was like, nah, you're a goofball. I'm not giving you an opportunity. Been trying to fight you for years. Now when you ain't got shit to offer me, you want to fight? Get the fuck out of here. Get out of here with that bullshit. The letter M, Thurman ain't the same. I'm not ready to say that he's not the same. And I'm going to tell you why. In his last outing, he looked good. His last outing, he looked hella good. Beat the crap out of that kid in Australia, an undefeated boxer. So there's really nothing, the letter M, to tell me that Keith is not the same. Now, I haven't seen anything to tell me he's not the same. In his last fight, his punch output was the same. He looked fast. He looked sharp. He looked the same to me. If you ask me, he looked exactly the same as the old Keith Thurman. Rosa Andre, win or lose, Errol Spence, a good idea. Not a good idea. Life and health first. And I said that before. If Errol Spence got money like that, like I think he does, because he don't look like he out there blowing his fortune. Errol Spence not one of those people blowing his fortune. So if he got the money like I think he does, I would have just stayed retired. Errol Spence got money. He got investments. He got different money coming in from different places. I would have stayed retired. Because he did take a nasty beating to Terrence Crawford. And I don't know how that could have affected his brain. I don't want to see Errol Spence, I want to fight, and I'm going to beat him up. I don't want to see Errol Spence end up like that. mess up his whole brain. I don't want that to happen to him. Just they. I don't know. Thurman was ducking Clarissa Shields smoke. That would have been an exhibition. But I don't know, man. I think that would have been an exhibition. They could have had a good time with it, but it went the way it went. My peoples, before I end this episode of Boxing for Breakfast, I want to give a shout out to everybody who tuned in. Just Day, Be More Gorilla, Cy was in the building, Rosa Andrade always showing love, the letter M, Frank Rice, Mr. KO was in the building, Southwest Dice hating like crazy on Shakur Stevenson, JJ's in their house, John Parham, Nature Boy, Black Cadillac, and everybody else who tuned in, my peoples. Y'all already know what it is. Boxing for Breakfast. This show is for you guys. Hope you guys once again enjoy this episode. I'm Jay Smith. I'm signing off. One love to everybody. I'll see you guys tomorrow at 6:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And don't forget MAW. Bam. Mr. KO. Bam. Don't forget to subscribe to Box Center 2.0, my peoples. I'm dropping exclusive content on there that you will not find on this channel, that you will not find anywhere else. So check it out right there. This is Box Center 2.0. Don't forget to subscribe, y'all. Get that exclusive content. Get those exclusive videos. Let's get it, my peoples. We out of here. Jay Smith signing off. One love to everybody, yo. Bam. Bam. We out of here. Gotta go get this money.